How's it going, folks? This is Trufflez, and we're here with another episode of, oh god, this is really not going to work out so well, of the survival series. Hope you're doing well, because today we're going to be doing a lot more technical stuff, actually. So if you haven't seen last episode, we went into the end once again, and we got the elusive Elytra. So we did go ahead and storm one of those end cities, and got to one of those flying boat doodads, got the Elytra, and yeah, now we can fly all over the place. That's pretty cool. And I was just taking a look at this. Oh god, this place here is looking pretty cool at night. Let me just turn around so we can get a better view of this. Look at that. That is pretty sweet. So yeah, now that we have the Elytra, we can now officially fly, provided that we have enough firework rockets. Now, we don't, because we are almost out of gunpowder, and that's why I decided to stay here through the night and get as many creepers as I can possibly get. But unfortunately, that is not a very good solution for the long term, so in this episode, we're going to be building a mob farm. Specifically, a hostile mob farm, of course, because creepers don't spawn in regular passive mob farms. Anyway, it is going to be really important for us to get a mob farm in this world so we can automate the production of bones for bone meal, gunpowder for TNT, and firework rockets, which are pretty darn important, and other odds and ends. Oh, hello. So let's go ahead and hop into the creative testing world, shall we? Here we go. Alright, so here we are in the creative testing world, and as you can see, I've actually come up with two different designs for the mob farm. We're going to be using this one right here, but I thought I might as well go over how this one works because it was actually quite a lot of work to come up with. So both of these designs work based off of the fact that there is a limited amount of distance that water can travel. So we have a block here that gets waterlogged by this bucket of water in this dispenser that lets water flow outward all the way to the edges of these platforms, so any mobs that are spawning on this platform will get pushed off and then fall down to their deaths. More on that later. And by now you'll probably have noticed these glass pillars, which are placed at regular intervals throughout the design. These are here to prevent spiders from spawning, and they really do work. At least in this design, maybe not so much, but in the new design, yeah, they completely prevent spiders from spawning. And you do actually want to reduce the amount of spiders that can spawn or eliminate them altogether in a mob farm, at least in this particular application, because spiders can stick to everything and they can really hurt the amount of mobs that can spawn in an area. So I've gone ahead and spawned in quite a few creepers here just to demonstrate how it works. And you'll notice the creepers are taking damage on the magma blocks, but as soon as they hit that lava blade, they pretty much are done for. Now, because we're using a lava blade, that brings up another kind of major issue, and that is what happens if a witch gets stuck in there. And as you notice, the witch just took a fire resist potion and they do not take any more damage whatsoever. So now this is basically clogged. This design, on the other hand, does not use any lava whatsoever. It in fact uses these nether portals, which, if we go through here real quick, teleport all the entities to the top of this chamber where they will fall down to their deaths. So this actually does eradicate our witch problem entirely, but it does bring up a new issue, and that is if our tunnel here is not long enough, mobs like Endermen and zombies and skeletons that spawn in with feather falling boots will probably survive this drop. So I realize I actually haven't shown off how this thing works yet, so I should probably fix that. So at the top here, there's a special fader burnout clock that I like to think I invented because I haven't seen it anywhere else. And on this side is another fader burnout for extending the pulses. But anyway, this combination of circuits just allows you to finely tune when the water flushing system turns on and for how long the water stays on the platforms. Because when the water is here, mobs can't spawn. But you need the water to flush the mobs off. So it's kind of a balancing act. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. And I've got a special lever over here that I can turn on to simulate the conditions that this farm will be in. I'm going to go ahead and flick this lever. There's going to be a massive lag spike, and pretty soon here, mobs should start spawning in on the platforms, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we got quite a few mobs spawning in already, and pretty soon here, the water is going to flush them off of the platforms. They're going to go down to the bottom and through that nether portal, as you've seen before. So yeah, this thing works quite well considering how small the thing is. It only has 5 layers of spawning pads on it, and each additional layer will improve the rates even further. Alright, so we are back in the survival series here. Yeah. I should really just call it the creative and survival series because we go into the creative world so often. But anyway, we're here in the entrance to the underground village. To the right here is that very thing, which we haven't really done very much work on since I started it way back in episode who knows what. And speaking of old projects, over here is our cave spider spawner farm. This was my very first source of XP in the survival series. and we never use this anymore. I mean, cave spiders are just terrible source of XP. Now, over here in this really roundabout location is the slime farm, which I'm not sure if any of you have really seen, but slimes do spawn here. This is a slime chunk that I found based on some stuff I found online, and went ahead and dug this entire chunk out to create a slime farm out of. But we're going to be converting it today into our new mob farm. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and tear out every single one of these layers and build them all the way back up again. This is going to really suck. Nope, that is not working. Wow, I just realized that, well, we might have enough iron to finish our beacon, which means we might be able to, yeah, you can see we're missing some iron there. We might be able to get Haste 2 finally, which will solve all of our slow mining issues. So before I'm going to tear that thing out, I'm going to go up here and, well, see how much iron we have and see if we can complete that beacon. Alright, so this is what we got. It's not very much, but I did go on a recent mining excursion, so hopefully it will be enough. But, I guess we'll see. So we need to fill in all the rest of the space, which is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, plus 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 32, 33, 34 blocks of iron and or gold or emerald. That really sucks. Although, come to think of it, I could sacrifice this other beacon. That might just give us the number of blocks we need, but I kind of doubt it. Nope. So we can either go mining, or we can, oh man, this is a really difficult shot, or we can just go ahead and trudge forward with that project and hope I have enough patience to be able to take out all that wood. Alright, looks like my computer just crashed. Man, it looks like the modifications I did to my graphics card didn't really help very much, but yeah. So in the couple of minutes I had to myself while I was trying to debug my computer, making sure that nothing got severely impacted by that whole ordeal, I just thought, why not just build the mob farm over here? Because this is a secluded area and we never come here, so even if it reaches up into the sky really far and looks ugly as heck, it'll be covered up by that mountain over there. Okay, so now that's out of the way, I think we should probably figure out where the center of the farm should be. And I think we could probably put this a little bit closer to this side. Let's just say right here for now. And then we need to go out in this direction, 8 blocks, and 8 blocks in the opposite, well, actually 7 blocks in the opposite direction because the thing's 16 by 16. So let's get digging here. Okay, so this is our perimeter, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dig as far as I can down. Oh boy, that's not such a good plan. Well, I'm going to dig as far as I can down until I hit stone. Apparently that's only a couple blocks away. And that's going to be pretty much the bottom level of the farm. I don't want to go any farther than that because I don't have Haste 2 yet. Yeah, so when I say I was making some graphics card modifications, I really do mean modifications. I don't mean like overclocking or anything like that. Nah. I actually opened the thing up and desoldered the fan because that thing was whining like a freaking... I don't know what whines like that card did. But yeah, so replacing that thing was a must. Unfortunately though, as is evidenced by my card crashing, the fan is not nearly powerful enough. So as you can see, our hole is now dug, and yeah, I had to strip away a little bit of stone, but it wasn't too bad. But that is going to be the bottom level of our farm. Now, this is where our portals are going to be, and then the rest of the farm is going to extend up into the sky. Now, in the future, I could dig downwards. In fact, considering that we're at about, I'd say that's 60-something, level 60, we could dig all the way down to whatever level we need in order to make the killing chamber mechanism in this dimension. But considering that that could cause, well, a problem, we have to dig that whole hole out using our crappy setup. That is going to take quite a long time. So I'm still going to go ahead and do the nether portal thing at the bottom here and set up our water sources and do all that, and then work on the rest of the farm. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we are pretty much finishing up here, and as you can see, if this thing looks a little bit bigger to you, that's because, well, it is. Uh, so I decided to make it a couple of blocks bigger in a couple directions, just so that we could make this thing fully symmetrical. After all, we're not actually fitting it into the slime farm anymore, so we're free to do whatever we want with the space that we have. All I have to do now is to put some water in these corners, and I guess we'll see if this worked out. If I plotted this out correctly, we should be getting water in the very center of... Ooh, looks like I didn't actually do the math right, but that's okay. All we have to do here is put out a couple more blocks like on either side like that. If we do that, we can't actually put the water down because that will prevent us from lighting the portals. So let's go ahead and do that. It is also a good idea to get these portals put in place because then we'll be able to see if we accidentally teleport to this while going through any other of the portals in our world. In fact, let's actually go through these portals and see what happens. It'll either generate a new portal or it'll put us in our nether hub. And it seems to have put us in the nether hub, which is interesting. Now, the next question is, if we go through this portal, will it take us to the home or our new portal? Okay, that works as intended, so that's okay as far as I'm concerned. Alright, so now we got our portals lit and our catch basin complete, but I'm actually not going to put in the water yet because it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to work in here. So, first of all, I'm actually going to start by figuring out how to build our first layer here. So, I've actually decided to change the design a little bit since I last showed it in the creative world. So, I'm going to place a dispenser right here in the center going into a slab. That slab is going to be waterlogged and unwaterlogged, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but from the center block, I'm going to go out 7 blocks in each direction and make kind of like a diamond shape. Alright, so we do have our shell built, but I'm not going to fill it in just yet because I want to put in the structures which will prevent spiders from spawning. So the way this works is you just basically put a pillar every 2 blocks actually, and we're going to actually need one in some weird places too, like out here, and looks like another one here. And I'm basically just going to go around this entire build and figure out where all the spots are so we can just put pillars all the way through the build. So that is actually the pillar setup right there. It actually looks kind of interesting from some angles and really horrible from other angles. But yeah, that is going to be visible to basically anyone who comes around this area. So hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Well, I can't really see it right now. Oh boy, especially not if you're underwater. Yeah, you can't really see it right now, but it's going to be 5 layers higher than that, so it's really going to stick up. Well, I mean, every world's got to have a really ugly farm somewhere, right? Now, in order to connect this to the next layer, we have to take signal off of this block, because this is the block that's going to be waterlogged. I'm going to be using an observer for this, facing upward, and if I had any more dispensers, I would put one on top of this observer, and basically follow the chain all the way up for the number of layers that we're going to be doing. Now, these sandstone pillars, as you probably saw from the creative world, will go all the way through the entire build, just for the sake of looks, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead here and just build a couple more of these layers and see what it looks like. Man, I'll tell you what, that is just crazy looking. Look at all that. Actually, let's go ahead and pop down here for a bit, just so we can see what this looks like from the bottom. It's not going to look like this again. Oh man, that is really weird. Man, you never really think about the scale of something until you work on it in survival mode. I mean, you're building in creative mode and it's like, yeah, it's going to be kind of a large-ish farm, but I've seen larger. But then you go into survival mode and then you're like, dang gum. Alright, so here's the big reveal. I'm going to go ahead and, ooh, I think some of my scaffolding got stuck up there, but oh well. I'm going to go ahead and fly over here so we can take a look at this from afar. And here we go. Ugh. Oh man, that's, it looks, well, it looks modern. It might be a little bit too modern for my taste though. Like, I don't know about that. I mean, the sunlight's making it even worse, but, I don't know, let me just sleep here real quick and see what it looks like in the morning. I guess it's alright. I mean, it does not look good. The sandstone definitely was a mistake. I probably should have gone with glass, but glass is a really expensive material. Well, anyway, I'm not really too sure. I mean, we can't really cover it up so well. And, I mean, we could have used, thinking about it, I'm actually not sure if using a solid block there instead of glass was going to be a problem, but, oh well. So yeah, we pretty much got the majority of the farm itself built, but there's definitely more work to do on it. But unfortunately, folks, that is going to have to be it for today's episode. I am really out of time. That took way longer than I thought it was going to. And yeah, I've been trying to get more stuff done in each episode, and it seems like what's more important is to be able to get more than one project started or more than one visual thing done in each episode rather than trying to get one project done each episode. But anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye bye.